which is a court gives Biden until December to wind down Title 42 blocking asylum seekers. Okay? So now he steals Trump's show, where he's going to act as if he cared so much about Title 42. And then the court's going to turn around and say he has a week till December to decide what he's going to do and wind it down so he can let in everybody from South America talking about asylum. See, they use the word asylum in order to let them rush the border and flood over here and us to accept it as if we're supposed to feel sorry for everyone but ourselves while they rob us, replacement theory us, which is true, and all kinds of other Luciferian piece of shit garbage across the planet coming at us. You know what I'm saying? And we have to start looking at that because he did no Title 42. That was Trump's idea based on what he was trying to do when he came to the border. At the same time, Biden's going to act like he hijacked that for himself and it was always his little groove. And then the court's going to act as if like, now saying that Biden is doing the Trump thing, and he's going to try to get some fame off of Title 42. He ain't nothing but a dummy, a sucker, and an idiot. You know what I'm saying? But we see where the judges telling that the Biden administration, the great reluctance after striking down the policy blocking asylum seekers. The U.S. Judge Emmett Sullivan on Tuesday vacated the policy that allows for swift expulsion of migrants without letting them seek asylum, pushing them into Mexico or returning them to their home country. Sullivan found the policy crafted under the Trump administration in the early days of the coronavirus pandemic to be arbitrated and caprice or whatever, and said it's and said it violated standards of Administrative Procedure Act APA because the Center of Disease and Control and Prevention CDC failed to adequately consider alternatives and the policy did not rationally serve its state's purpose, and that may be 100% true. The judge also noted that the CDC decision to ignore the harm caused by the policy likewise violated the APA. It is unreasonable for the CDC to assume that it can ignore the consequences of any action it chose to take in the pursuit of fulfilling its goal, particularly when those actions included the extraordinary decision to suspend the codified procedural and substantive rights of non-citizens seeking safe harbor. See, Sullivan wrote, noting, warning that the migrants often face prosecution and violence once expelled. They weren't expelled. This was trumped up by the creepy Joe Biden administration appealed to the judge last Tuesday to stay the ruling by 5 weeks, arguing that they would need more time to transition to normal procedure under Title 8. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, Martin, the bald-headed idiot, will need to move additional resources to the border and coordinate with stakeholders, including non-governmental organizations and state and local government to help prepare for the transition to Title 8 processing the judge processing the Justice Department wrote in its filing. This transition period is critical to ensure the DHS can continue to carry out missions to secure the nation border and to conduct its border operations in order fashion. You're full of shit, you're lying, and it's wordplay. You're garbage. El Paso, Texas, to stop busing migrants after Biden, Creepy Joe, used Trump's era Title 42 to expel Venezuelans. To New York City, and Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Demon Democrats run El Paso, Texas, will no longer bus migrants to New York City and Chicago, citing the recent unveiled decompression strategy, much by the bullshit. The White House, you know what I'm saying, creep Joe Biden administration last week moved to expel, you know what I'm saying, incoming Venezuelan immigrants back to Mexico under Title 42, which was first introduced under the President of the United States, Trumpy Bear, baby. You know what I'm saying? Immigration, you know what I'm saying, activist group are expressing their concerns with the creep Joe Biden administration announcing that it will start expelling Venezuelans to Mexico using Title 42. Public health order, you know what I'm saying, reducing entry pathway, you know what I'm saying, to a limited patrol program. The Department of Homeland Security announced on Wednesday that it is launching a new large-scale border enforcement operation. Yeah. After you let the whole, after you let in 4.9 million and more, you garbage then. You garbage now. Probably garbage in the future. You know what I'm saying? We see Jesse Jackson urging the U.S. Attorney Office to investigate sentencing of an Indian American businessman. Coming from the Hill News. Civil rights leader Jesse Jackson, I guess he's trying to clean up his little act that he pulled trying to bring down the filibuster. You know what I'm saying? Civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Charles Jackson, you know, Boule, Freemason, undercover brother, is calling on the U.S. Attorney's Office to investigate whether racism and discrimination played a part in the sentences of an Indian American investment banker convinced of selling fraudulent loans. You know what I'm saying? His name is Nikesh Patel. Oh yeah, you better investigate all them black men that got locked up years ago when he was around. You know what I'm saying, Martin Luther King days, and were being prosecuted, and a lot of them sit in prison for 40, 50 years and probably never even committed a crime, but was accused and set up by many things. You over there worrying about one person. Worry about the brothers and sisters who injustice such as the Black Panther Party had to endure and fight against and cause all kind of corruption go on that, you know, eventually seem to have turned around, as the demon Democrats always do, and put their heat back on you, saying that you're the one who caused this and caused that. You know what I'm saying? You're full of shit then, you're full of shit now, and you're probably going to be in the future. So nobody have time to sit here on these line tips with these people. And we need to start to look at these things from a better light and a better perspective. Because if we don't, they're going to rigmarole our brains, such as they always try to do anyway for many years. You know what I'm saying? They've been trying to do that bullshit and was getting away and still getting away with it to this day because look how many black people are voting Demon Democrats, and now you're bringing a whole population of Mexican people that, trust me, they're going to try to convince those people to vote Demon Democrat. So when the time comes and they come out of their secret little sleepwalking order, they all going to vote Demon Democrats for the next 50, 60 years. So they can escape their prosecution that should be coming down on their head. So we know the open border policy will no more than a scheme to one day keep them in office, because that's what's going to happen. They're going to try to convince these people, find ways to make 4.9 billion people in America that came over that border and swindle their minds into Demon Democrats, such as they use the AOC and these different people to do. You know what I'm saying? This is what they put those type of people in there, especially all the Spanish people that's up in our government there to convince all the Spanish people that came over at 4.9 million or more to vote Demon Democrat and keep them in power. So they garbage then, they garbage now, and they ain't fooling nobody with that open border policy. You know what I'm saying? Because we have talked about what was over there, and prior to that, even more than that. You know what I'm saying? They got a huge Baphomet church over there. So we know for well, a lot of their shit is over there is where they did a lot of their shit, and a lot of their building, and a lot of their building of the garbage, and the so-called big-ass temple, you know what I'm saying, with a big, gigantic Baphomet in it, and all this bullshit. This is probably where they're going to try to lead our minds to in their garbage satanic Albert Pike bull crap as well, because, you know what I'm saying, nobody in that bullshit with them, and we need to start to investigate more into our government as to what it is they're doing under them sheets, down in them tunnels, and everywhere we could dig their creepy ass up out and find out what's going on. They ain't gonna want you to do these type of things because they definitely know if you do, you're probably gonna puke anyway. But this is Point Blank saying, stay right, stay tight. We're gonna stay in the fight, and we're gonna make sure we get it right. There is no other way that we can go now. We as Americans must stand together as one. We don't have to all live in the same neighborhood, but we have to start using our minds and our conversation amongst ourselves as to how we're going to look out for our country, because creep Joe Biden and the government and those people that you keep on electing thinking you can trust them so much that you believe every time they come up with a singing, a dance, and a speech, and that goes with Republicans as well. You know what I'm saying? Many of them are corrupted and are really Demon Democrats in its fullness. And they come out and they give you a singing, a dance, and a speech, and then when they go into office, they do nothing for the black community, nor even try to even help us in any shape or form in many ways. But when you go to the Demon Democrat side, they over there pulling out the black card, and then all kinds of black people get positions and talk this sweet shit and all this and that and the third. Meanwhile, at the same time, they're sneaking in, crushing off certain rights and civil rights so anybody could come and vote in our election, and then overpower us, buy that vote, and keep putting these people in there for 4 or 5 years and shit like that, and then they bring pure hell and fire on you. Before you know it, you over there in Mexico in that Baphomet church being sacrificed. So let's wake up, people, because this is Point Blank saying, stay right, stay tight, and we're going to stay in the fight. We ain't going to never give up. We're going to keep it top flight. So, farewell, my friends. One, we will meet again.